Hello folks, welcome back. In previous lecture, we have seen how to fork a repository. In this lecture, I'm going to take this repository into my local system. We'll do some changes. Those changes I will push it into my Viankils account first. From Viankils account, I'm going to push those changes onto Revd account. But Revd account is not owned by me, so it will go as a pull request to the Revd, and he has to log into his account and accept it. So whenever the pull request comes, I will jump back into my other account here, and I will see that under Docker account, nothing but over here I could able to see, and I can review those changes. Then only I can commit onto my branch. So for 33 commits are there, and last commit was done on 3 days ago. Let me explain this one with a diagram. So this is how we are going to do. We have a GitHub repository, right? This is a Revd system. From Revd system to I'm forking the repository onto my Viankils account. From there, I'm going to clone it into on my local repository, and I will do few updates. After doing these updates, how I am going to push it into the Viankils account, and from there pushing it into the Revd system. So first we'll do fork and clone, then we'll talk about pushing onto the Viankils account, then onto Revd's account. Let's jump back. So this is my developer2 system, and I'm going to clone the repository over here. So git clone. Before that one, let me see what and all repositories are there. Okay, git clone. I'm taking it from my Viankils account, not from the Revd account. So let's copy this one. I can use the HTTPS or SSH, but SSH doesn't work now. So HTTPS I'm taking. SSH only works for the Revd account only. So now I have cloned. Why? Because this is a public repository under Viankils account, so no credentials are required. Let's do this one ls. Now we have a Docker, and if I go inside, now I would like to move this Apache 2 Docker file onto Docker file. I think I kept all Docker files over here. Okay, yeah, let's do that one. I'm just doing Apache 2 even Jenkins Docker file and CentOS image file. Okay, so these three files I'm moving on to Docker file directory. So let me give the space. So now we have done some changes, and git status. Okay, these changes can be anything. Even we can remove files, add files, or update files, anything we can do. Okay, let's go inside to Docker file. And also I'm going to update one file, that is Docker file basics. Some content is there. Let me open this one. Okay, just I'm adding minus over here, and similar way over here as well. Some changes we have done. And git status, if I do, okay, there are some modification and some deletion and some addition. So git add dot. So why it is saying deleted? Because in the current location, whatever files are there, that we have moved into other location. So it just think that we deleted here and created new file under this directory. Anyway, that's not a problem. And git status, if I check. And one more thing we need to remember, whenever we do git add dot, whatever directory we are there, in that directory, whatever changes are there, those are get updated into the staging area. These are not yet updated. Why? Because these are not in the current directory. It is outside of our directory. So if that is the case, we need to come out. Again, we need to give git add dot. Then you can see git status. Everything is updated. Now it identified that we have just renamed the file name, or else we have copied into inside a repository. Now git commit -m updated Docker file directory. Okay, so we are committing a change onto our local repository. Now if I check git log, you can see here the latest commit is this one, but whereas your master is still at the previous commit. Now git push origin master. Now this time I need to provide my credentials, that is Viankils and password. So I have provided my credentials. Now if I go back to my repository, you can see we haven't created a separate branch. We have committed on the same branch. So you can see 34 commits are there. Now these are 34 commits on my Viankils account. Whereas if I go to my Revd account, here only I am just opening. Okay, in Revd account 33 commits, which means that Viankil user has done some update to this repository. Now these updates I would like to share with the Revd guy, nothing but the actual source of this file. If that is the case, I can create a pull request. Whenever I do pull request, whatever changes you have done, those changes will go to the remote repository. It is something like this. So for what we have done is we have others GitHub account. This is Revd's GitHub account. From there we have forked a repository. Now I got a repository that I have taken into my local system. Okay, so it came into my local system. Here I have updated that repository. Nothing but few changes we have done. Now I have pushed these changes onto remote repository. So it went to the remote repository of mine. Now I would like to push these changes onto the others repository. So for that, I just need to create a pull request. Let's do that one. So now you can see here a option called pull request. Why? Because this branch is one commit ahead of Revd master. Nothing but what is the source repository, that is Revd repository. Comparatively, this one extra commit is there that I can uh, push into the other repository that we call it as a pull request or PR. And if you would like to compare, you can do the comparison of the changes. Nothing but what exactly changes you have done in this one. Okay, you can see here these are the changes you have done. 4 changed files. Okay, 2 additions, 2 deletions. So we have copied into this location. Okay, this one, these 3, and we have updated this line. All right. Now I'm going to create a pull request. Let me create a pull request. Now it is asking that from where to where we need to create a pull request. We are creating from the Viankil's account to Revd account. We are creating from the Viankil's account to Revd account and master branch. Even you can change your branches if you have. Assume that if I am not doing updates on my master branch, if I do on the dev branch, then I can specify that, okay, dev branch to source repository master branch. Something like that we can do. And these are the 4 changes, and you can review your changes before creating the pull request so that it won't give any confusion. Now create a pull request, and we need to give proper update. It's something like we are committing our changes onto the other repository. So updated Docker file repository, let it be, and create a pull request. Okay, now we have created a pull request, and if you see here, I came to the Revd Docker account, and you can see under pull request there is one pending request. Who has created this one? Viankils. But I have logged in as a Viankil, so I cannot commit these changes because this repository is not mine. This is Revd's repository. So if I logged in as a Revd, then only I can commit these changes. You can see here commit option is not coming, and you can clearly see that conversation. If you want to update something, he will do over here, and commits. What are the commits you are doing? So developer 2 committed 5 minutes ago. So this is the commit you are trying to push it into the Revd's account. Okay, he can review these changes and he can approve it. Anyway, let's jump back onto Revd's account and we'll see. So this is Revd's account, and if I refresh, you can see the pull request over here. Yes, pull request, and you can see these are the updates. I can review these updates by clicking on this commit. So let's click on this one, and so this is the commit, and if I want to see the commit information, I can just open this one. Okay, who has done? This guy is developer 2, and I can still open detailed information. Okay, same thing will take us into the files changed. Okay, next I can go back here, conversation, and I can merge this pull request. Okay, whenever I merge this pull request, that commit comes onto my system. So let's merge. While merging, we can update this information if necessary and commit merge. That's it. And you can still leave a comment, okay, if you want to give some update to who has pushed this code. I can leave something like on my code. Okay, so I just leave the comment so that it will go to the Viankil's guy, and I can go back to again Viankil's guy, and if I refresh it this time, okay, it is Revd's branch. Anyway, I will go back to my Docker branch, sorry, my account. So you can see here Revd merged the pull request, and I can go and check it out the commit as well. Okay, so this is the commit, and we can see the conversation on the pull request, closed pull request. If I see this one, I can see the conversation over here. Let me open this one. And you can see he has said that thanks for your update on my code. This is how we can create a pull request. Okay, there is no difference between the merge and pull request, but whenever we talk about merge, it will happen on two different branches on your repository, whereas pull request will happen two different accounts on the GitHub account. That is the only difference. So this is how we can create a pull request. That's all for this lecture, and see you in the next lecture.